Welcome back, my friends. Start straight into the mom tucking in her son Ethan, 5, when he suddenly grabs her face and whispers with dead adult eyes, "Mommy, Daddy's not gone. He's watching us right now." And on most people would have laughed it off. I almost did. That was my biggest mistake. If you're new here, hit subscribe right now and tell me in the comments where you're watching from, because you're going to need someone to talk to after this one. Hey, it's your strange, dark, and mysterious fix for tonight. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time if you're brave enough to be here. This is the one story I almost didn't upload. I sat on it for 3 weeks because the final piece of evidence Sarah sent me actually broke something in me. I'm still not the same. If you're watching this after the sun's gone down, good luck sleeping tonight. Like, genuinely, turn the lights on, grab someone to sit next to, because once you hear what 5-year-old Ethan knows that no child should ever know, you're not clicking away. I've told a lot of stories that kept me up. This one keeps me looking over my shoulder in broad daylight. And the worst part? It all started with the sweetest little boy you've ever seen, and the father he swore never really left. Let's get into it. Sarah Miller was 36, taught 3rd grade at Maplewood Elementary, and had finally gotten her life back. After 8 years of walking on eggshells around Ryan Miller, 38, charming to everyone else, monster behind closed doors, she'd done it. Restraining orders signed, locks changed, moving truck gone, Ryan banished 400 miles away to Indiana. She and 5-year-old Ethan moved into the cutest little blue Craftsman on Elm Street you've ever seen. White picket fence, porch swing, the kind of place that makes you believe in fresh starts. Friday nights were sacred. Pepperoni pizza on the living room floor, Ethan in his dinosaur pajamas, both of them laughing at Bluey until he fell asleep against her shoulder. Mornings smelled like coffee and banana pancakes. She'd drop him at kindergarten, wave at the same moms every day, come home to grade papers while the sun poured through the kitchen window. For the first time in years, Sarah slept without one eye open. She'd lie in bed staring at the ceiling and whispered to herself, "We made it. We're safe. It's over." Everything was perfect. Everything was peaceful. Everything was exactly the way it was supposed to be, right up until the night her little boy looked her dead in the eyes and told her the one thing that proved none of it was ever over at all. It started small, like these things always do. Ethan began bringing home crayon drawings from kindergarten, stick figure daddy with a huge black smile, standing outside a window while little Ethan and mommy slept inside. Every single one. The teacher thought it was separation anxiety art. Sarah forced a laugh and pinned them on the fridge like they were normal. Then she noticed the bedroom window. Every morning she'd wake up and find it cracked open 2 inches, cold air sneaking in even though she'd triple-checked it locked every night. She started taping a hair across the latch. Every morning, the hair was on the carpet. She told herself wind, she told herself old house settling, she told herself anything except the truth. Ethan stopped wanting to sleep alone. He'd crawl into her bed, clutching his stuffed triceratops, and whisper, "Daddy was at the window again." Sarah would stroke his hair and say, "Daddy's far away, baby. You're safe." And Ethan would just stare at the ceiling like he knew something she didn't. I told myself it was just a phase, that kids process divorce weirdly, that he'd forget soon. I almost believed it. Until the night he shot straight up in bed at 3:13 a.m., eyes wide, and screamed one sentence that made my blood freeze. "Mommy, he's inside now." That night, the house was dead quiet except for the low hum of the baby monitor. Sarah jolted awake at the exact same minute the clock flipped to 3:13 a.m., heart already hammering before she even knew why. Ethan was sitting bolt upright in his little bed, blanket kicked off, staring straight at her doorway. Moonlight cut across his face, and for a second he looked wrong. Too still, too tall in the shoulders somehow. Then he spoke, and the voice that came out of her 5-year-old's mouth was not his. It was low, adult, familiar in the worst way. Daddy says you shouldn't have taken me from him. Sarah's legs forgot how to work. She couldn't even scream. She just stared while Ethan tilted his head the way Ryan used to when he was about to lose his temper. The baby monitor on the dresser erupted into static. Every light in the house flickered once, hard like something huge had just pulled every watt of power through the wiring. Sarah stumbled out of bed, grabbed Ethan, and ran for the hallway. That's when she saw it. On the kitchen counter, dead center under the little pendant light, sat Ryan's white gold wedding band, the one he swore he'd pawned, the one she watched him throw into the lake the day the judge signed the papers. The front door was still triple locked from the inside. Deadbolt, chain, the little flip lock up high Ethan couldn't reach, windows sealed, alarm armed. But the ring spun slowly on the granite. Once, twice, like an invisible finger had just flicked it. And from the baby monitor still crackling in her hand came that same deep voice, soft now, almost amused. "I'm already in, Sarah." Sarah didn't sleep again after that night. She ordered the most expensive security system she could afford on a teacher's salary. 8 4K cameras, motion-triggered floodlights, glass break sensors, the works. The installer finished at dusk. She tested every feed herself, locked the doors, kissed Ethan goodnight, and sat in the living room with the monitor app open, daring anything to move. At 2:07 a.m., the hallway camera pinged. A tall shadow stepped into Ethan's room. 6'2", exactly Ryan's height, broad shoulders, the same slight lean to the left from the old football injury. It walked straight to the crib height bed and just stood there, head bowed, perfectly still, right over her sleeping son. She watched the timestamp roll. 10 minutes, 20, 30. The figure never swayed, never breathed, never blinked. 47 minutes straight. Ethan slept through all of it, thumb in mouth like an angel. She called the police before the shadow finally stepped backwards into the darkness and vanished. 2 officers showed up, searched every inch of the house, attic to crawlspace. No footprints in the dew on the porch, no smudges on the windows, no fingerprints anywhere, not even Ethan's on his own toys that night. 3 nights later, Ethan started sleepwalking. Sarah would wake to the sound of tiny bare feet padding down the hallway. She'd find him at the front door, forehead pressed to the wood, whispering in that same wrong voice, "He's here now, Mommy. Let him in." She'd scoop him up, carry him back to bed, and he'd be himself again by morning. No memory at all. But every single time she checked the footage afterwards, the tall shadow was already waiting in his room, patient as death. Sarah stopped breathing the moment the state trooper's name popped up on her caller ID. She thought it was about the break-in reports. Another, "We found nothing, ma'am." Instead, the officer sounded almost gentle. "Mrs. Miller, I'm sorry to inform you that your ex-husband, Ryan Miller, was killed in a single vehicle accident outside Terre Haute 3 weeks ago. High-speed impact. He was burned beyond recognition. Dental records confirmed it yesterday. The funeral was last Thursday." Sarah dropped the phone. The room tilted. 3 weeks ago, the exact same night Ethan first whispered, "Daddy's not gone." She clawed through every drawer until she found the obituary she'd refused to look at. There was Ryan's face, smiling like the devil he was, next to the words, "Taken from us too soon." She zoomed in on the date of death, then on the visitation photo, closed casket, American flag draped over it because Ryan had always lied about serving. She called Ryan's sister, the one person who still spoke to her after the divorce. "Yeah, Sarah," she sighed. "We buried him. I watched them lower the box myself." "Why?" She couldn't answer. Because every night since that crash, something wearing Ryan's exact height, Ryan's exact posture, Ryan's exact rage had been standing over her son's bed. So if Ryan Miller had been ashes for 3 weeks,
Who the hell had been coming home to finish what he started?
The last night came without warning. Every camera feed went black at the exact same second. 3:13 a.m. again. Not static, not snow, just pure black, like someone had thrown a blanket over the eyes of the house. Sarah was already running before the silence hit. She slammed Ethan's door open so hard it bounced off the wall. And there he was. Ryan. Not the Ryan from the obituary photo, not the Ryan she'd once loved. This Ryan sat on the edge of Ethan's little bed, in the moonlight, skin gray-green and sliding off the bone in wet sheets, jaw hanging loose, wedding ring finger nothing but white bone clicking against Ethan's curls as he stroked, stroked, stroked. The smell hit her like a fist. Gasoline, burnt hair, and something sweet rotting underneath. Ethan turned his head slow, calm, eyes black from lid to lid. "I told you, Mommy," he said, in his own voice this time, soft and proud. "I told you Daddy never left." Ryan's corpse lifted its head, empty sockets fixed on Sarah. The mouth moved without sound, shaping the same words Ethan had whispered weeks ago. "You shouldn't have taken him from me." Then the body smiled, teeth blackened, tongue gone, and leaned down to kiss the top of Ethan's head, like it was the most natural thing in the world. Sarah called 911 screaming. Officers arrived in under 6 minutes, guns drawn, house flooded with floodlights. They found nothing. No corpse, no smell, no slime on the sheets, no handprint on Ethan's hair. Just a little boy sleeping peacefully and a mother shaking so hard she couldn't stand. Forensic team came at dawn. UV lights, luminol, cadaver dogs, not a single trace. The cameras showed every feed going black for exactly 43 seconds, then coming back online to an empty room. Ethan never mentioned Daddy again. Not once. He went back to dinosaur pajamas and Saturday morning cartoons, like a switch had been flipped. But every single night, no matter what house they lived in, first the motel, then her sister's, then the new apartment 2 towns over, at exactly 3:13 a.m., the hallway camera catches it. The tall shadow, 6'2", slight lean to the left, walking slow and patient toward Ethan's door. It stops right outside and waits. Sarah sold everything and moved twice. It always follows. She still sets the alarm for 3:12 a.m. She still hasn't slept through a full night since. Sarah sent me the last piece of footage 2 nights ago. 43 seconds that made me turn every light on in my house and still couldn't sleep. I'm not showing it to you. I genuinely don't want you to see what I saw, because some things can't be unseen. But I need to know I'm not the only one who believes it now. So, tell me in the comments straight up, do you think a 5-year-old boy can be possessed by his dead father or carry him somehow? Because after what's on that file, I do. And whatever's walking toward Ethan's room every night at 3:13, it's not done with them yet. See you in the next one, if you can sleep after this.